Hello, my name is Anne. Welcome to Recover Me. I am a sexual abuse survivor, and going forward, I'm just going to call myself a survivor, and I may refer back to it as SA. Have to be a little careful on the platform. So, what I'd like to talk today about to you about are triggers. Because going forward, it's going to be very important that one understands a trigger. And forgive me if you already know what a trigger is. And kudos to you, because I was 38 years old before I realized what a trigger was. Unbeknownst to me, had been experiencing lots and lots of triggers throughout my lifetime. And one of the things that kept me from wanting to reach more people, I should say, because I have facilitated groups, I have done public speaking, and triggers are something that can come out of nowhere. We never know what could trigger somebody else. I'm going to share one of mine that I have not been able to get over yet, although it is much, much better. For instance, I have a trigger that when it's light outside but dark inside, for whatever reason, say all the drapes are shut, or it's kind of a cloudy day even, so it's a little bit darker in the house, I used to get very sick to my stomach, and I never understood why. And so when I was 38, which was when I first dealt with all this stuff, didn't even realize that, all this could be traced back to the childhood SA. Everything that I was experiencing in my life, the depression, everything, it all gets traced back to that. And then these little paths that come off of it, we get set up for a lot of tumultuous things to go on in our life. And one of the biggest indicators that we're not dealing with some stuff real deep down in there is depression. I did not know that. And now I do. But so back to the trigger. Once I got my first foot in the door and started to deal with all this, I realized that that was a trigger. And reason being is because the main bulk of the time that this stuff happened to me when I was a child, my bedroom had a complete cover it was almost the size of it was about 24 by 24. It was almost like a garage, but it was a giant porch. So now no natural, bright, straight out light got into the window of the bedroom. So that bedroom was dark a lot. And I can share some tools that help me. Deep breathing is something that people, I won't say all people, but I didn't give it enough credit. And biologically what it does, and the things that are released in your body by doing it, and that is those inhaling through your nose, slowly holding it maybe for 5 seconds, breathing out slowly, and repeating this for 5 or 6 times can really, really help a trigger. Other times a trigger could, create a panic attack, fear, and maybe you won't even realize, but you'll start feeling your heart starts racing, and it's really hard to connect the dots. But the first step in overcoming a trigger is being aware that you're triggered, right? We can't do a darn thing about it. If we just start reacting off of, oh my gosh, I mean, 20 years old and you think you're having a heart attack or something. Even being short of breath, anxiety and panic attacks, very similar. Uncontrollable crying, you don't really even realize why you're crying. Because again, it's so hard to connect those dots. And once you start first becoming aware, even maybe saying, could this be a trigger? And start doing that deep breathing, are really helpful things. The other thing I would encourage, if you're going to be following this channel and become a part of our community, is to have somewhere you could reach out to. There are hotline numbers. I will try to pin those every time in the comments. Even if we're talking about sexual abuse as a child, the sexual abuse hotlines, or sexual assault is what they call it. Sexual assault hotlines are a really good place to still get some help. So I would recommend that you have some things in place, which I also have already created a private Facebook group called Recover Me, so that we can become a community and support each other. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the absolute number one tool and best thing to have in that tool shed is a support group. People that understand, people that have been through it. People can be at different phases of their journey, and that's perfect, but honestly, one can go to a counselor and spend thousands upon thousands of dollars. And yes, they've had a great education and they have a cognitive understanding of what we've been through, but they don't really understand. And this is getting a little long, but I want to give one prime example. Right before I started becoming a facilitator to the groups I was talking about, we had one lady that she was amazing, super sweet lady, had all the credentials behind her, and somebody in the group, it was probably like the third night, had asked her if she experienced SA. And she was really honest, and she said no. And right away said, but I was a victim of domestic violence, which a lot of us that have experienced SA have gone on to experience that. But that's not why we were there. We were there for SA. And it was like a mic drop. A mic drop. Like everyone got silent, and you could just feel everyone pulling back. Like, it didn't turn out to be a very great group, and that's actually when I think they may have even nominated me to be the facilitator after that. And I went through some other training, but mainly the biggest training is going through it. And yes, I've had some counseling, and I got some great tools through that, but I never made a lot of real progress until I really got connected with some groups. And again, group was once a week. That was all. So my vision is to create a community that can be there 24/7. We're all on different time zones. We'll probably get people from all over the world. And even if it takes till the next day, there will be people there for each other. So I want to encourage you. It is possible to get through this. It is possible to beat the depression. It's possible to love yourself, to value yourself, to forgive others, because let's face it, hurt people. I was hurt. I've hurt other people. So as things progressed, I had a lot of my own self-forgiveness that I had to go through. So I would encourage you. I just want to encourage you. Be brave. Be very brave. I believe in you. And I promise, if you face this, you start facing this stuff head on, one layer at a time, whatever it is that you could handle, whatever that is, it's going to be different for all of us. I encourage you to start. And I hope this is the start of your journey. And it's like peeling the onion. Some of us have already peeled several layers and we're still on the journey. So, and I want to be there to help you, give you a helping hand, and find others that want to do the same, because in helping others, it really gives us even deeper healing. So thank you. Be brave. I believe in you. Welcome to Recover Me.